Hey, how's it going? Spencer from OG Broadcast. So when I come on here a lot, I like to talk about things that somebody in my demographic, uh, and by extension other people's too. But I'm coping with what I'm dealing with here, and I'm addressing, confronting, and changing what I think in order to be able to exist here and then excel, or at least become successful in my measurement of what I deem as success. So, in order to do that, I got to talk about a topic today. This kind of I assume it's not as rare as it seems, but self sabotage. There's a lot of things that go on through the course of your life that steer something that could get you to the point where you realize that you're self sabotaging. And it's kind of like what's the simpler word? Maybe you're expecting to lose, you're assuming you'll lose. Now, I don't say this to say I don't have any success in life. I've been wildly successful in a lot of things I've done. But there are pointed times where I have to realize I did that. I blew that. And there's a reason for it. But there's a few examples that I thought of that kind of explain where I recognize this in myself. And one thing is accepting loss easily, where you shouldn't have. That's something good. It's not good, but that's something that comes up more than not. And that happened for me in a certain, let's see, like I had a few trucks in the car, and I've had a car picked up, say, by the city, came in to tow my truck away. And I'm sitting in the house and I'm thinking, everything's paid, truck's registered, what's going on? What I found out is it had been sitting too long in the place. It's a dump truck, and I wasn't using the truck for a while. So it was sitting there, but it was good to go, insured and everything. City thought it was abandoned, thought it didn't run because it was an older one. It was an older truck, and it looked like it. But they came to get it. So my neighbors are outside making a commotion. They're doing the whole thing, knocking on the doors. Man, they take the truck, take the truck. I heard them, but I'm not going to go out there. And one thing I know is if somebody's coming to get the truck, if the city's coming to take your truck, they're going to get it. So why am I going to go out there and put myself in front of this? Why am I going to go out there and be that news clip or that video clip of the guy going crazy, knowing at the end of the day, they're still taking the truck? So that's my justification for what's really self-sabotage. I could have simply gone down and get it back, find out what the commotion was, sue them if necessary, go pay the fee, get the truck back. But I accepted that loss because almost like, what am I doing with this many vehicles anyway? And I'm gonna explain why in a little bit. A lot of life hasn't been simple. And since it hasn't been, it kind of makes me over time start to think I don't deserve to have all of this stuff. What am I doing to have all this stuff? Now, I'm not saying that like I feel sorry for myself. So it's not that. There's something else that goes on with a life of no's and a life of rejection and a life of holding down that I can't explain yet. I'm not a psycho anything, therapist, none of that. I haven't figured out this problem. I'm just playing stuff by ear. And I think that goes into it, that sort of thing. Another thing is procrastinating. Another thing that I said leads me to realize that I have an issue with self-sabotage is procrastinating when you know something's due, when there's something you got to do. If it's a credit card payment, you get the notification, it's on your calendar, you know it's coming up at this date, and you either don't have it or you have it, but you don't want to give it away yet because things are tight. You might need it for other things. And you let the thing come, and today is the last day to pay this, and you don't pull the trigger, and that date passes, and you're going to get a ding on your credit for that. That's part of it. That seems like a simple one, not really a self-sabotage. It's just not a big commotion that created the sabotage, or that the sabotage created. But it's a negative mark on your record that you didn't think about when you knew how to do it. You knew it was coming up. It's not like, oh, I forgot it. I'm so busy I couldn't think of it. No, you knew it, and you chose to do that so you can look back and say, see, stuff never worked out for me. You see what I mean? It's like a trap of victim, like you feel like the victim, but you created this one. You did this one. You had it, and you knew when it was due. Now another one. And these are another example of what I recognize in myself as a self-sabotaging behavior is not reaching out to people who can solve a problem. You're having a specific problem, okay? Instinctively, when you're going through this problem, right now it's way out here. It's way out here. You know this is going to be a tough one. This isn't one you can do, but you know somebody who's dealt with this and knows how to solve that, has the means to solve it, has the technique to solve it. And you don't reach out, and the problem gets closer and closer and closer. And you know you have an outlet, but you're not using it, and then boom, it's on you. And now you can't get the thing done, and it's on you. So it's like double the stress. And I think the reason is because you don't want to reach out to somebody and admit to yourself and to let them know that you as an adult don't know how to solve this problem yet. And that you can't handle what it takes to, you just don't know the technique, the thing to you don't have the thing to solve it. And it's hard to admit when you've been being creative your whole life and coming up with ways to solve stuff and creating things out of nothing. And now you have a problem that you're watching it come from here, back, and get on you. And you could have avoided that. Now, I gave you the justification of what that is. You had too much pride. But what the real thing is possibly you just didn't think you deserve it again. You can't do things good. Things don't happen good to you. So when you create problems, that gives you something to hang your hat on. Now I don't like that. I don't like that. And again, this isn't everything, so I'm not like some depressed person who can't win. It's not that. But I do have to admit where the weaknesses are, and that's one of them. What I don't want to do is get hung up on the don't deserve it thing. That can sink in real good when you haven't had things all your life done well for you when other groups of people have been able to achieve them. So there's something you have to do. There's something you need to recognize when that's happening and avoid that. And it's not like a rah-rah, let's go viewer, my friend. But you do deserve what you worked for. And you have to be able to let that go, that don't deserve it thing. Because what that leads to is another issue that I have, but not another example of what they are, but another issue that I have in this realm is a small scope. If you start a business and you say, hey, I need to go to the bank, apply for a business loan and some funding, I want to get $250K seed financing to start my little venture. Okay, that's a real small amount that a lot of people probably aim for and get. But what would I do? If I even decided to apply for one, I'm actually setting myself up for another no in my brain and possibly in the real world. So I'm gonna go in and apply for 50. It's short scope and everything. So my peer, who doesn't look like me, same education, same background, same skill set, goes into a bank, gets it, starts doing their business, and it flourishes, and they're doing all kind of, well, I don't know if it flourishes right off the bat, but they have the money to bounce a little bit. And I don't. And there's still that fear of going and ask the bank for the money. It's going to try to prove to them that I know my stuff with no experience, like no lifelong experience to say, hey, I know how to talk to these people. I know what they need to hear. I know how they need to hear it, that sort of thing in order to get this money started. You don't have any of that, so you set yourself up for, I'm going to ask for a little bit less, and I'll probably not get that either, and then I'll really feel like trash. So I don't know how to stop that either, except just be bold, walk in bold, and ask for exactly what you want, and then tack on 25% more, and allow yourself room to negotiate down. It's a brutal game. It's hard when you've been beaten down enough and you've been trampled on enough that this seeps into your head and you limit what you want to be able to do and what you even attempt to do sometimes. So just don't let that happen. Don't let your brain believe that you don't deserve something that you work hard for and that you're great at. Keep pushing, keep stepping. One thing that I hear that I like a lot. I don't know if I thought of it or if I read it somewhere or saw it somewhere, but your highs are never as high as they feel, and your lows are never as low as they feel. So that allows you to keep yourself in check when it's good and get yourself up off the ground when it's bad. And just stay, like I mentioned in all the other videos, just stay even keel, man. That's how you have to move in this demographic at this age, at any age, to be able to exist and maneuver in this world. Keep your head up, bro, and understand self-sabotage is a thing, and you don't have to deal with it. You can work yourself out of it. I'm going to go on that. Peace.